miss the feeling.
Right now, choose any new 20 Mazda and get 0% for 60 months, plus 90 days deferred payments during the Team Mazda upgrade event happening now at Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hello and welcome to the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Thank you all so very kindly for sticking around after our friends, the Exiles, Kevin Gallagher and Bill Profita, wrapped up their show. That is assuming, of course, that you did, in fact, tune in. If not, maybe it's new to you. Well, we have adjusted the format here as of late. And, of course, the Exiles now, 5 days a week, 10 a.m. until 11 a.m. Yours truly, the same, but from 11 a.m. until 12 noon. So do us a big favor, if you would. Help spread the word. We would appreciate it sincerely. Obviously, the big news item of the day, the final presidential debate tonight. And we, as is normally the case, reached out to one of our go-to guys for all things political. I very affectionately refer to him as the Kingmaker. Roy Fletcher, political consultant extraordinaire, joins us to start today's show. Uncle Roy, how are you, my friend?
Clarence, how are you?
I am doing well, Roy. Thank you for asking. Let's start with the gut feeling, Roy. What percentage of the American voting public do you think will tune in to tonight's debate? And for those who won't, why not?
Oh, I don't know if I can put a percentage. Maybe 5%, maybe 10. I mean,
Wow.
20 million, 25 million, maybe 30 million.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it will get over that.
Right.
And the reason why they won't is because either they've made their mind up and they don't care,
mm-hmm.
or they're just not interested and they really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the people that'll be watching tonight are still those people that we call in the business soft. Maybe they're for somebody, but, I can change my mind and that kind of thing.
Right.
And then maybe the few people that still have sort of don't know what they're going to do yet. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's very many of them left.
Yeah. Republicans are already crying foul because foreign policy has been removed as one of the topics. How do you elect the next leader of the free world and not discuss foreign policy?
Clarence, I don't know. You'd have to ask the Presidential Debate Commission or whatever they call themselves what the deal is there. But, Donald Trump has made a point about 4 years. I hadn't gotten to send a war, and I've actually brought troops home.
Mm-hmm.
And Joe Biden can't make that point.
True.
And, and there's a whole lot of other things that need to be talked about, like the pallet of cash to Iran and so on and so. And look, there is, and the whole notion of China, and its aggressive nature. Now, all of that needs to be talked about. It should be debated in front of the American public, and for these people not to do that, okay, that's fine. Whatever you want to do. I mean, if you want to talk about the economy, Trump's going to start talking about a 34% GDP. So whatever y'all want to do, but I just don't think that you can get through a presidential campaign without a good long discussion of foreign policy, because that affects what? It affects our livelihoods, and most of all, it affects our lives.
Well said. Well said.
Our children's lives and our grandchildren's lives. You know, and I mean, foreign wars are something that we seem to be addicted to at times.
Yeah, and you add to that the fact that there is more and more talk about globalism these days. It's something that affects all Americans. But let's talk about
go ahead, I'm sorry.
Let's talk about the individual candidates, starting with Joe Biden. What are the strengths that you anticipate he'll try to play to tonight?
All calm, quiet, old Joe. I think that's where he said it. I think the interesting point about this is that the debate commission made a decision to turn off the microphones when they're not talking. You know, when somebody else is answering.
Right.
They thought that might cause Trump some. I think that's doing Trump a favor.
How so?
It keeps him from talking. It keeps him from talking. It keeps him from talking, and he's not nearly. I don't think he will be nearly as aggressive off microphone as he will be when he's answering the question. So it requires him to limit his answer to 2 minutes or whatever it is, and it requires him to be prompt and if he's going to lance the sword, to go ahead and lance it, you know, and pull it out and lance the victim. And so I think it'll soften Trump up some. And my gut is that he could probably use just a little bit of that in this debate.
All right, let's flip the coin. What are the strengths that you expect President Donald Trump to play to tonight?
I think that he's going to play to the economy, and I think that he's going to play to his not only what he's done but his agenda and for the future. I think that Trump will talk more about what I want to do the next 4 years tonight than he ever has. And I think that, you know, we'll get a little surprised at. Now, finally, I do think that there's the whole Hunter Biden, Joe Biden deal with Moscow and China and the whole that's coming up tonight. And whether the debate commission likes that or not, it's going to be discussed.
You have.
You can't help but be.
Yeah, it's got to be. Now, you've been doing this, Roy, and I know you will accept this in the spirit that it's given. You've been doing this a mighty long time. Have you ever seen a situation where the media has gone to such extraordinary measures to keep a story from the American public?
No, and neither have you, and neither has anyone else. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And you know, what can you say? If Watergate had been treated like this, nobody had ever known it happened.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's that simple. It's just that simple, and they're serious. This is serious. I mean, this is a money laundering investigation by the FBI. It includes maybe obstruction at the highest level. It just keeps on and on and on with this story, and it's pretty rough. Pretty rough.
What?
And, you know, look, Barr says that he don't want to do anything because he don't want to affect the election, but not doing anything affects the election too, because the American public don't know. Yeah.
What bothers you more about this, Roy? The fact that the implications behind all of this are what they are as far as America's security, prosperity, and future is concerned, or the fact that the mainstream media and even social media has gone to such extraordinary lengths to hide this from the American public? Which one of these two bothers you more, or does it all even out in the wash?
I think it probably all evens out, but in the long run, the implications of what we're seeing out of the media and certain institutions of our federal government about this story is really pretty damn frightening. I mean, we always thought of the media as the fourth estate, and hey guys, go root out whatever corruption is. Don't matter which part, you know. Right. And that's kind of what I would like to see happen, but we're not. We're getting real propagandized stuff here, and just literally shut down, and that's pretty damn scary. Because why, Clarence? They hate Trump so much.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it, but that's no reason to look the other way or to try to protect other people like that. That's no reason.
Americans' perception of the media is already in the tank. If you look at polls all across the board, as far as how we view the media, what do you think this is going to do to what's left of their credibility, Roy?
I don't think there's much left.
Wow.
But I don't think it's about their credibility anymore. I think that there is a sense that the system is not adjusting itself, and the press was part of that adjustment. It was always to keep people relatively honest and balanced, and it's not adjusting to that. And the notion that you can suppress news as a way to make things, normal is ridiculous. That's exactly the opposite. If you want to be really credible and really have the ability to adjust, help the system adjust and bumps and bruises along the way, be credible, report fact, report truth, or at least relative truth, and you will help people, because then they will believe what they read and what they see. Right now, I'm afraid, either side of the fence, liberal, conservative, Republican, Democrat, nobody believes anything the press is saying. Nobody. That's pretty That's pretty frightening.
That it is, my friend. Always insightful as usual. Roy Fletcher, political consultant extraordinaire. Thank you for the time, my friend, and we'll be talking with you again soon.
Thank you, Mr. Clarence. I appreciate it, man.
You're quite welcome. Take care, my friend. It's frightening. It is truly frightening when you consider what was once a bastion of freedom in this country. And the founding fathers, God bless them, knew the importance of having a free press. And nowadays, we've got anything but that. Of course, now you could easily make the argument that, well, they're only doing what the people want them to do. I will leave to you to decide what the truth in that statement is. I see we've got a caller on hold. Do me a favor, sit tight. Let me get this quick break out of the way, because we got to talk more about this, y'all, and we'll do so right here where you've got it. When we continue the Thursday edition of the Clarence Buggs Show, only on the Pelican. Sit tight.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions
Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
From appetizers, pasta dishes, and entrees, La Contea takes pride in preparing all the Italian cuisine we know you love. Enjoy live music every Thursday through Saturday from 6 to 9, happy hour weekdays from 3 to 6, and brunch on Sundays from 11 to 2, as well as dinner portion-sized lunch specials for under $10. Visit our website to view our menu and book a party or meeting in our large banquet room. Once you try La Contea, your Italian dining will change forever.
You could be driving. Right now, during the Team Honda Upgrade event, get a new 20 Accord Sport for just $309 a month with no money down, no first payment, and no security deposit. It's time to upgrade to your new Honda at Louisiana's #1 new car dealer, Team Honda on Segan Lane.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Mandafine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Mandafine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Mandafine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
By all standards, he is a champion for consumers. Because of Public Service Commissioner Eric Scrametta, our utility rates are 35% less than the national average, the lowest in all of America. He saved ratepayers over $8 billion. Commissioner Scrametta brought us more reliable power plants and energy-efficient solar fields. Public Service Commissioner Eric Scrametta. Keep the commissioner who keeps our rates low.
Bug Show. Tonight is the third and final, well, it's second, but final, nonetheless, debate for the two men that are vying to be the next leader of the free world. And my man Mark in Denham has patiently been holding. Mark, good morning, and how are you, my friend?
Good morning, General.
What's on your mind, my friend?
Permission to vet on this election.
Permission granted, sir.
One of your competitors on a radio station at 9 o'clock in the morning, I'll give his initials, J.E.
Okay.
He always comments on this deal with Biden and Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And he always makes this asinine comment, well, he's obese, meaning Trump, and can I bench lift his own weight?
Okay.
Well, I'm in my middle 70s, and I'm in pretty good shape, and I can't lift mine either.
Right.
The bottom line is this. I would give anything that I own to see you debate that man on radio about the merits of Trump against that of Biden.
Yeah.
And it'll beat the Lincoln-Douglas debates of centuries ago.
When did we get to the point, Mark, where we care as Americans about things that don't amount to a hill of beans when we're talking about the leader of the free world?
That's why I call this statement asinine. About anybody he does not like. Well, he can't even bench press his own weight. Now that's a stupid statement to make for a man of his intelligence. He's the statistician on everything. There's nobody can tell him anything.
Well, you know what they told us growing up: when you run into somebody that thinks they know everything there is to know, the first thing they don't know is how ignorant they actually are, Mark.
That's about the sum of it. But I would love to see you debate him on the merits of Trump against Biden any day of the week.
Any day of the
week. I'd give anything I own to see it, radio or television.
Any day of the week, I would answer the call, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
You're quite welcome. You know, it's bothersome that the American public apparently and this is not true as a blanket statement, maybe I should say such a large percentage of the American public is not willing or does not have the capability to think for itself. You've got to ask, why is it that the mainstream media, social media, refuses to carry, much less dig into, the Hunter Biden laptop story? That is a complete abdication of your duty. It is your job to dig into and find out the truth. And what you hear from so many of them is, well, it's unverified. Okay? Let's flip that coin. How many unverified, anonymous stories has the mainstream media run on the front page about President Donald Trump? How many stories where it was completely unverified? Well, you know, the sources didn't want, we can't reveal our sources, but you would take that story and run with it ad nauseum, over and over and over again. But on this particular story, well, it's unverified. All right, well, we have on the laptop pictures. We have on the laptop videos. We have from the owner of the computer repair store the invoice when it was brought in with Hunter Biden's signature. And yet, you refuse to run the story, much less dig into the story. Now, that makes me wonder, as a person with 2 functioning brain cells, what are you afraid of? What are you trying to hide? Yesterday, Dr. Jill Biden comes out and says, the American people don't want to talk about Hunter Biden's laptop. Excuse me? First of all, who died and appointed you the grand poobah of deciding what the American public wants to talk about? If that is not as elitist a statement as you will ever hear, I want to talk about it, because I want to know, in casting a vote for the leader of the free world, I want to know what kind of shenanigans you've been involved with to enrich your personal wealth. I want to know what kind of deals you've been working with countries that don't like us and will do everything within their power to take us down. But you apparently know what the American public wants to talk about. How would you know? The story has been buried by the mainstream media, Twitter, Facebook. How do you know what the American public wants to talk about? It is as classic a case as you will ever find of those folks thinking they know better than us. As classic a case as you will ever find, as I know what's best for you, better than you know what's best for yourself. It is insulting. And you know, it shows a trend. I don't know what it is with the Biden family. Maybe it's something that just runs throughout the ranks of the Democrat elite. But Jill Biden saying, the American people don't want to talk about this. Have you polled the American people? But that runs in the same vein as her husband saying, well, if you can't figure out whether or not to vote for me or Trump, then you ain't black. It's an elitist attitude. It's an elitist entitlement mentality. How dare you, in your little bubble up in Delaware, you have no clue what people down here in the South want to talk about, especially when his pictures are there, his videos are there. Oh, and by the way, his business partners, one of whom is awaiting sentencing, the other, who's already incarcerated, has now given over 26,000 emails, many of which are incriminating, but you can speak for the American public. They don't want to talk about that. You know, it's insulting that we in this country fought a war because we were tired of some elite person waving their hand and issuing a decree. We got sick of that crap. So we fought a war. We took on the biggest, most powerful empire on the planet and formed our own country so that we wouldn't be subjected to this kind of crap. And still, there are vestiges of it hanging around today. The American people don't want to talk about his laptop. How do you know? Those that only get their information from the mainstream media, many of them don't even know about the story. If they did, rest assured, they would probably want to talk about it. Many of them don't know that we've now found videos with minors on it and Hunter Biden in real compromising positions. Many people don't know about the emails with members from Ukraine thanking him for the meeting with the vice president. If they knew about it, Jill Biden, they probably would want to talk about it. But then again, you know better than the American people. Of course, now, when you've got the mainstream media and the biggest social platforms on earth suppressing the story, I don't know about you. Might have been born at night, but it wasn't last night. Bottom of the hour break. We'll bang this out. We'll talk more next here on The Pelican. Sit tight.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Jaguar Nation, we need your help in masking up Louisiana.
Masking up will slow the spread of COVID-19.
During this time, we must continue to wear a mask, wash our hands, and practice social distancing.
It's important that we continue to abide by the CDC's guidelines to stop the spread.
Jaguar Nation, we challenge you to mask up.
Go Jags!
Hello, guys. It's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Today's the day to score thousands in savings on a new Toyota during the upgrade event at Team Toyota. Choose the all-new redesigned 2020 Highlander and get $1,750 customer cash. Let today be the day you score thousands in savings at Team Toyota. I-12 at O'Neill.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Welcome back to the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, guys and girls, one of the things that is disheartening as we watch all of this unfold, and some of it I have yet to decide to what extent it is, but I know it's some of it, has to be laid at the feet of the American public. The news media has degenerated to a point now where it's no longer about news. It's about propaganda. It's about swaying. It's about a narrative. And at the end of the day, we as Americans have a duty, a responsibility to automatically assume that what someone on TV, or even worse, the internet, or even worse, social media, you automatically assume what they're telling you is not the truth. Unless and until you investigate it thoroughly for yourself, then decide. Now listen, I get it. I understand. Clarence, you got to realize, we got COVID-19. I'm trying to keep the household running. You know, we got hurricanes. I got all this stuff going. The stakes are too high, y'all. We are blessed to live in a representative republic that is the envy of the free world. We are blessed to be a part of what is arguably the greatest experiment in human governance in the history of our species. There is too much at stake to take the word of some Yahoo on CNN, take the word from some screenshot on social media, and base a vote for the leader of the free world on that. You talk about the, quote, news media. Example, CNN, Commie News Network. Last night, in the handoff, as we call it in the business, when one show is leaving and another show is coming on, one host will hand it off to the next. Well, what you got coming up tonight, so-and-so? Well, tonight we've got so-and-so and blah, 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 okay? In between Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo, Don Lemon was commenting on what impact President Barack Obama's appearance now on the campaign trail may have for motivating black voters to get out and vote for Joe Biden. He was particularly dismissive of black male voters that are going to vote for Donald Trump, saying they've, quote, been played by the Trump campaign. Listen at this, if you will, quote, we talk about the fringe black male vote, right, for Donald Trump. Let's see how many people actually show up at the polls, because I don't really know any black men who are going to vote for Donald Trump, except for people who have a ton of money in the bank, and maybe they think, here's what they think. Unlike black women, who are the most educated of the voting bloc, who know what it's like to be in a boardroom or a business meeting and be mansplained when your idea is better and you're smarter than the men in the room. I think what these black men think is, well, if I just get the money and I just get the capital, therefore I'll be equal and I'll be treated equally. They're in for a rude awakening because it doesn't work that way. That's not how it works. And women know that, especially black women. They know that. So I think that these men, honestly, are being bamboozled. They're being played by the Trump folks. Okay? Since you brought that up, let's talk about being played. I don't know about you, but for me, the most obvious, egregious, and insulting example of being played for black folks is giving your vote to one single party over and 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 over again, and you're still the least educated and the most incarcerated. You are still at the top of the list in single-parent households, drug abusers, and the list goes on and on. You are still disproportionately represented when it comes to killing your own babies in the womb. Now, you want to talk about being black folks getting played? Don Lemon? That is where you should start. And Don Lemon, quite frankly, is the least qualified person on the planet, Jill Biden, to talk about what black men are all about. But for those of y'all that worship at the altar of CNN, they are comfortable feeding you this kind of crap. Every day, all day, 8 days a week, 365 days a year. They need to just go ahead and change the name to the HDT network. Hate Donald Trump. You know, my parents taught me something early in life. When you encounter a situation and you're talking with whomever, and all they do every single time you talk to them is badmouth somebody or something. Every single time. How you doing today, man? Oh, I'm doing all right. Man, let me tell you about... When you encounter those kind of people, eventually, sooner, hopefully, rather than later, you come to the conclusion the problem is not the person they're talking about. The problem is them. Let me tell y'all something. And it took me a little while to figure this out. The mainstream media has never gotten over the fact that they were backslapped by the American public in the last election. They fed us poll after poll after poll, after poll after poll after poll after poll. Y'all don't even need to vote. Hillary Clinton gonna be the next president. They had anointed and crowned her the next president. And when the American public stood up and said, enough of this foolishness, we gonna show y'all what America really feels. They never got over that, y'all. They never got over that. And they are not going to be satisfied until they regain that control over us. How dare y'all prove us wrong? How dare y'all show the rest of the world that we're in cahoots and we don't have America's best interest at heart? Who do you think you are to try and control your own destiny? So now they are pulling out all the stops. There is nothing too low. There is absolutely nothing that is out of bounds for this time around, because they are deathly afraid of losing that power over the American public. Sadly, all they're doing is motivating people even more to come out against what they're doing. Remember when you were a young person, and I'll give you a minute because some of y'all gonna have to think back a little further than others. Hey, I'm in that number. If you can't laugh at yourself, you don't have any right to laugh at anybody else. But remember how sometimes the more your parents told you, don't do something, don't do this, don't do that, don't do the other. Remember that? And remember how the more you wanted to do it? Now, I understand the whole forbidden fruit concept. I get that. But many times, it's about not the forbidden fruit, it's about rebelling. The mainstream media, and maybe this will be a good thing when all is said and done, they are showing us their true colors. They are showing us in no uncertain terms what they're all about. And we are truly at a tipping point in this country. And sadly, there's still a sizable percentage who go around every single day with blinders on. My sincere hope is that when you step in that voting booth, your decision will be based on your own research. Your decision will be based on past experience, and you will govern yourselves accordingly. Final break of today's show. We're going to bang this puppy out, come back, put that big old pretty bow on it, and wrap up the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Mandafine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Mandafine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Mandafine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. feeling.
Surprise, something good has finally happened in 2020. Yours truly, the Clarence Bugg Show, gets to be with you every day of the week. That's right, 11 to 12 every weekday. And, of course, the Exiles right in front of yours truly from 10 to 11, yours truly 11 to 12. So now it's appointment viewing. 5 days a week here on the Pelican. The Clarence Bugg Show. The only thing missing is you.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to the final segment of the Thursday edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. I want to cover some ground quickly before our time with you expires today. The full Senate of the Louisiana legislature this week endorsed unanimously the Kamari Harrison Act. For those of you that are saying that name rings a bell, that was the young man, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, that was learning virtually online Zoom classes, and his little brother walked through the room and tripped over the BB gun, and Kamari, being a good brother that he is, picked it up and it was in the shot. And of course the Jefferson Parish school system forced him to go through all kinds of hoops, suspended, talked about expelling him, so on and so forth. So his father and others took the fight to the Louisiana legislature, and the full Senate endorsed unanimously the Kyrie Morrison Act. It would set in place procedures for dealing with virtual learning. This, despite the Jefferson Parish School Board coming out against this, saying that having a set of rules that teachers had to go by learning virtually would limit the teacher's ability to maintain order during these classes and overwhelm the school district with appeals of suspensions. Now, I will be the first to admit, I've never sat on a school board, but it would seem to me that first and foremost, you would want to have a clearly defined set of rules as far as what is and is not allowed. That is the only way that the children and the parents can govern themselves accordingly. Additionally, it's one thing for the school system to be, quote, overwhelmed with the appeals of suspensions. It is something else entirely for the school system to be overwhelmed with lawsuits because a child's rights were violated. I mean, it boggles my mind that you would attempt to do something like teach kids in a virtual setting and not have a very clearly defined set of rules and regulations. We do it for everything else. We do it in the workplace. We do it for driving a car. We do it for everything. Why would we not do it there? So, tip of the hat to the full Senate for unanimously endorsing this. And we're going to keep an eye on this as it works its way throughout the entire legislative process. Because at the end of the day, the kids deserve it. At the end of the day, the parents deserve it. And quite frankly, at the end of the day, the teachers deserve it. It's hard to maintain order when everyone is not aware of what the rules and the regulations are. And you know, I get it. These are unprecedented times. There are things that have happened, things probably that are happening, certainly things that will happen in the future that no one was able to anticipate. Why? Well, Clarence, you just said these are unprecedented times. Exactamundo. So start with a clearly defined set of rules and regulations, and it makes it a whole lot easier to move forward from there. Secondly, if you have been impacted, your employment status by COVID-19, Louisiana residents that are still, as we speak, unemployed due to the pandemic, you can apply to extend your unemployment benefits. The Louisiana Workforce Commission under Secretary Ava DeJoy announcing this week that unemployment residents can apply for pandemic extended unemployment compensation. The acronym is the PEUC. Again, Pandemic Extended Unemployment Compensation. These extended benefits will last through the end of the year. Simply go to, and I haven't walked through the whole thing particularly, but if you go to the Louisiana Workforce Commission's website, I'm sure that it will be relatively easy for you to navigate your way to that particular portion of the website. And once you do that, well, the rest will hopefully take care of itself. Again, those extended pandemic benefits will be in effect through the end of the year. God only knows what's going to happen after that. Hopefully, you'll be back gainfully employed before then. If not, well, we will then lean on the powers that be to deal with it in that regard. And for you high school seniors out there, I know it's been a trying time. I get it. It's trying for everybody, and no one is exempt in that regard. But if you plan after your graduation to continue your education, now is the time to go ahead and get that FAFSA application complete. As you might imagine, a lot of folks are going to be doing it online. A lot of folks are going to try to start as early as possible. February 1st is the deadline. And my late band director, the illustrious Dr. Isaac Patty Greggs, taught us the minute we walked on campus, if you're on time, you're late. Meaning, if it's important enough to be on time for, it's important enough to be early for. The deadline is February 1st. But don't wait until January 29th and then find yourself in panic mode. Because even if you're able to complete it and get it in, you're going to be at the back of the line, Hulse. And that's not where you want to be. February 1st, 2021 is the deadline for getting that FAFSA application in. So go ahead, do it now, beat the crush. You'll be able to kind of exhale a little bit, and it'll be one less thing that you find yourself having to deal with. Tonight is the final presidential debate. Last opportunity for we as Americans to see face to face in a debate type setting the two men that have aspirations to be the next leader of the free world. I am obligated to watch. As a person with a platform, as a person in, quote, the chair, I cannot reasonably talk about the debate if I don't watch. So I'm obligated. You, on the other hand, as an American citizen, I would like to think you have a duty as well. Because when all is said and done, even if you've already made up your mind, between now and Election Day, there is the distinct possibility that you may get into a conversation with someone who has not made up their mind. And if they ask you, well, what do you think about the comment that you fill in the blank here, candidate, made during the debate, you cannot very well give them an educated and informed opinion. And the last thing we need is more people spouting talking points. That is in large part why we find ourselves where we find ourselves. But as Americans, sadly, that's what many of us have become. Speaking of America, I gotta go, y'all, but I still got enough time left to say, this day more than any other, you're right. America, we are not perfect. But doggone it, for my money, it's the best there is. And God knows there is no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you realize he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Then again, don't matter, because there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. We'll see you soon. God bless.